let's be honest with ourselves for a second here. Are you still spending, hours every single week manually copying and pasting data, generating the same routine invoices over and over, or just endlessly sorting through a mountain of customer emails? Because if you're still doing all these repetitive tasks manually, you are literally wasting incredibly valuable time. And today, well, we are absolutely going to fix that. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really comprehensive masterclass on n8n. If you haven't heard of it, it's this incredibly powerful tool that is completely changing the way we think about automating our work. Okay, let's dive into this and learn how to build actual, real-world AI automations and agents completely from scratch. So, here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We're going to cover the automation revolution, static versus AI automation, decoding workflows and JSON, how n8n compares to its competitors, and finally, exactly how to set up n8n for free right on your local machine. All right, part one, the automation revolution. Why businesses absolutely must automate to survive. You see, every business basically runs on logic, right? It's just a series of steps required to achieve a task, like, say, generating an invoice. But relying purely on human resources for these repetitive tasks, it creates massive bottlenecks. I mean, first off, it's highly time-consuming, and it's so prone to human error. Imagine accidentally applying an 18% tax rate instead of a 5% tax rate on some massive client order. Yikes. Furthermore, it's just really hard to scale quickly. If you need to go from generating 100 invoices a day to 500, you suddenly have to hire way more people. And honestly, most importantly, it just wastes highly scaled, costly human potential on mundane tasks instead of, actual creative strategic work.
Moving on to Section 2, Static versus AI Automation, the limitation of keyword rules.
So old-school business automation was great for its time, but it had a pretty fatal flaw. It was completely static. Static automation relies on these really rigid, hard-coded rules, like basic keyword searching. Imagine a customer service email comes in and it happens to contain both the keyword billing and the keyword refund. Well, a static keyword-based system just gets totally confused. It has no idea which department to send it to. But AI automation, that is intent-based. By leveraging large language models, or LLMs, the system dynamically reads the email, actually understands the nuance and the natural language of what the customer wants, and then routes it perfectly. No hard-coded rules needed. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that AI can handle the entire lifecycle of a complex process. Take a standard 4-step customer service flow, for example. Step 1, the AI categorizes the incoming mail based on intent. Step 2, it forwards it to the precise department. Step 3, it goes ahead and generates an internal tracking ticket. And Step 4, it automatically replies back to the customer with their ticket number. What used to require a whole team of humans manually reading and sorting is now just a fully automated dynamic pipeline. How cool is that? And that brings us to a massive breakthrough concept. The source material states this perfectly, so I'll just read it. As soon as AI integrates into your business automation, the entire process transforms from static logic into a dynamic, intelligent agent. We aren't just automating clicks anymore, folks. We are literally automating decision-making. These are what we call agentic workflows. All right, Section 3, Decoding Workflows and JSON, the foundational concepts of n8n. Before you start building, you really need to understand what it is you're looking at. A workflow is simply a visual representation of your business logic, and there are basically two main components to it in n8n. First, you have your nodes. These are the individual boxes or tasks, like reading an email or generating some text. And everything always kicks off with a special node called a trigger node. Second, you connect all these nodes using edges. These are just the lines, the pathways that dictate the exact order and flow of your data from one task right into the next. Now, as your data is zipping across those edges from node to node, it travels in a format called JSON. Now, if you aren't a developer, the word JSON might sound a little intimidating, but trust me, it's just the universal language of data movement. It's structured in super simple key-value pairs, actually very much like a Python dictionary. Just imagine a label on a moving box, like name, and then the contents inside the box, like John. That is a key-value pair. It's just how different apps and nodes seamlessly talk to each other inside the platform. Part 4. Why n8 stands out. Positioning n8n in the competitive landscape. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how n8n positions itself against the heavyweights you probably already know. Zapier, for instance, is fantastic for non-technical teams because it's super simple. but it really lacks deep customizability. Make.com is highly visual, which is great, but it doesn't have the strongest focus on building complex AI agents. Power Automate is awesome if you live entirely inside Microsoft's ecosystem, but you are pretty locked in. And then we have n8n. It's definitely tailored a bit more towards technical or development teams. And yeah, while it does have a slightly steeper learning curve, its true superpower lies in its deep focus on AI agents and a massive library of over 1,300 integrations. Plus, n8n gives you this really unique flexibility to use a simple drag-and-drop visual interface and write custom JavaScript or Python code right inside the workflow if you need to. It's kind of the best of both worlds.
And finally, Section 5, Setting up n8n locally, the practical playbook.
So you basically have three main ways to get this running. The easiest way for a total beginner is n8n Cloud, which gets you a 14-day free trial right in your browser. Super simple. Option 2 is using a service like Hostinger, where you'd pay a monthly fee for a server that has it all pre-installed. But if you want complete control and absolutely zero monthly fees forever, the third option is definitely for you. Self-hosting via Docker right on your own machine. Yes, it requires opening up your computer's terminal, but I promise you it is so much easier than it sounds. Okay, assuming you already have Docker Desktop installed and running, you literally just need to copy and paste 3 quick commands into your terminal. First, you create a Docker volume. Just think of this as creating a permanent little hard drive space so you don't lose all your hard work when you turn your computer off. Second, you pull the latest n8n image, which is basically just downloading the setup files. And finally, you execute the run command. This sets up your environment, links that volume we just made, and maps the whole application to port 5678 on your machine. You literally just paste, hit enter, and let Docker do all the heavy lifting.
And then the magic happens. Once your terminal logs give you the green light, you simply open up your web browser, type in localhost 5678, and boom, the visual editor loads right up on your screen. You have just successfully installed a completely free, infinitely powerful AI automation tool directly on your own hardware. No subscription fees, no limits. It's all yours.
But hey, before you start dragging and dropping nodes everywhere, keep these 3 pro tips from the source material in mind. First, always plan your workflow on a piece of paper before even touching the software. Mapping out that data flow mentally is going to save you from massive headaches later. Second, and please learn from my mistakes here, n8n does not have an autosave feature. Actually, let me repeat that. No autosave. So hit save frequently so you don't lose your progress. And third, while you're building, start your workflow with a manual trigger node. This lets you safely test your logic with the click of a button before you attach it to live incoming data like real customer emails. Well, you've got the knowledge now. You know the competitive landscape, and you have the exact steps to get this incredibly powerful tool running on your own computer for totally free. The shift from static, boring rules to dynamic AI agents is already here, and you are fully equipped to take advantage of it. So I'll leave you with this question. Take a hard look at your daily workload. What mundane, repetitive task is going to be the very first thing your new AI agent automates?